Alrighty, welcome everyone back to HumbroPie. I am Jimmy D, your host. With me today, the champion, Spencer Herndon. From today we got a lot of good stuff to cover for you. We're going to first cover our good friend Finton, who did fantastic today and over the weekend. I think we had a great time. And those who don't know, Star City Games hosted a team event where you could play with 3 members in 3 different formats. Humbro had like 3 to 4 different teams out there that represented in this format. Spencer was on his team. My team was made up with Finton and with Casey Mills. And we did some prep on Friday, did some prep on Saturday. And then today was, if you made day 2, you day 2'd. If you didn't, you did the side stuff with the Standard Showdown, the Pioneer Showdown, the Modern Showdown. And our boy Finton was representing the Modern format. We're going to cover down on basically what happened during this weekend, get a good interview from our new champion right here, Spencer. Let's see it. And then sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to go.
No, it didn't seem like a good intro, didn't it? So we're going to cover that. Then we're going to cover over some new changes that have come to the channel, some new things coming to you guys shortly, some new exciting things and collaborations we're going to be doing with a group of different creators. And also, we're going to cover down some Dual Commander stuff. Word is the 2-time champion, Dual Cup earner, Tony, is got a match for us in his top 16 matchup, man.
I'm excited to see that one.
Yeah, same. I was in top 16, got knocked out. You were in top 16?
Yeah, I got knocked out. Tony has won the last 2 and the Dual Commander Cup in Chicago.
And the Dual Commander Cup in Chicago. This is going to be huge.
He's on his high horse right now.
Right? Just the absolute, phenom when it comes to Dual Commander community. And I think if he's out there watching this thing, he's going to be super excited to hear some of the announcements we have for you. But before we roll into all of that, let's get started. What do you say on just covering and praising our boy Finton?
Yeah, I think this is the first RCQ that he's won. Well,
no,
so technically this one you didn't have to go through and win through a top 8. Like usually you top 8, and if it's a 1 slot, you have to win out the top 8 and win the whole event. A lot of stores are 2 slots, so you win your quarterfinals match, and then you win the semifinals, and you got an invite. The top 2 players get the invite. These ones are new. We haven't had these yet. Star City just took over. It's not ran by DreamHack anymore. They're going to take place with the regional championships. They're going to take place at SCG cons now. So which is nice because if you aren't qualified, you can go there, play LCQs, try to qualify, and if you don't, they're still going to have the main event opens that everybody can play in during the regional championship. So which is really nice because if you didn't qualify for the regional championship with DreamHack, you had side events to play, but I feel like this is just going to be ran a lot better.
I agree.
And also since they're running it now at the SCG in Richmond today, they had 3 8-slot RCQs where if you top 8'd the event, you got an invite. You didn't even have to play the top 8. We didn't play the top 8. It was literally you top 8. Here's your invite. Here's your tickets, which amounted to $100.
Yeah, and I'm all about it. More competition, the better. And the best part about it is, even if you qualified, can you play in 2 weeks when we're playing tag?
Yep,
absolutely.
You can play still.
You don't take away from the player market. Yeah. You want these competitive players to show up again.
I do like that. Good. But the one gripe I have about that is they aren't doing roll down for people that if you're already qualified, you can keep playing.
Yes.
Say you play another RCQ the next week and you win that one, the invite is basically just wasted. It literally gives you the invite again, even though you already have an invite. So it feels really bad because people can just keep winning and taking away from invites.
Playing devil's advocate here. So we first preface this that any negotiation with prizes, you give me this, I give you this kind of thing, that kind of conversation really shouldn't be happening. You cannot offer anything for a concession or buy. Basically, you're asking for a cut or you're asking for a split and something like that, and you can label the terms on your own. Never offer anyone anything that will be a disqualification.
Yep,
but most judges
in my event actually
did it really.
Yeah, it was the last round, and I was in seat number 2. Seat 1 was in front of me. Our 2 tables decided to draw.
Okay.
The third table beside us, they were kind of debating because they were looking at the breakers and the one guy was like, I know that I'm locked if I draw with you.
Yeah.
But he was basically explaining to his opponent, I'm pretty sure if you draw, you might be throwing yourself out of the top 8 because the breakers were not in his favor.
Honest. That's good.
And he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Where the problem came is the guy that he was explaining that to in some part of this discussion said something about prizes. And at that point, a judge came over. The first judge was like kind of going to let it slide. And then another judge came in and was like, no, this isn't okay. You're not allowed to discuss that. And basically that guy got disqualified.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, it wasn't a big deal because the guy had already agreed to a draw. And we looked at the breakers after, and like he actually like that draw would have thrown him out anyways.
Yeah.
He needed to play that game and win to get his top 8 slot.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, there's where it comes down to, guys. It's a difficult conversation. I think you should talk to your judges about how this works out before getting into it. Make sure that everything's above board, because you cannot offer anyone anything in exchange for a submission or whatnot.
Yeah.
However, I've been to many tournaments where it's just been, I don't need this. Give me first place. You get what you want. And they say, yeah, that's a fair deal.
The easiest way to do it, if you're ever in that situation, I like to ask, do you want to make it so that the loser gets all the credit? Or cash, store credit, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And then if they're like, yeah, sure, then ask them.
And then they'll be like,
do you want to concede?
Yeah.
You ask them, like, after you've asked them and they've agreed to that, you ask them, do you want to concede? And then if they care more about the cash prizes than the invite, then they'll probably say yes. If they say no, then y'all have to play your match out.
Absolutely.
Obviously. Yeah. And y'all can like rediscuss the prizing after the match versus that. So
yeah, there is an opportunity. It's a dance that you got to do. I highly recommend talking to your judges, making sure everything is above board. Don't get yourself unnecessarily disqualified. However, it does like that opens it up for maybe some of those competitive players that are playing and get second place. The other person wants his invite. Great. You have that invite. Well, I just want the prize support. Also want to come out here and create a good, good competition. Want to get some more practice in, and it could be the best of both worlds. But you, of course, got to dance. So, never, ever, ever ask for anything in concession for a match or a draw. Do not offer anything. I'm telling you, you don't want an easy loss, and you definitely don't want to open yourself up to someone who just says, "Oh, judge, he's gone."
So, I was gonna say I don't know if I mentioned it, but the 3 RCQs that we had today were 3 different formats. So it was Standard, Pioneer, and Modern, which is nice because you can qualify for the Pioneer Regional Championship that's in October, playing a format that you wouldn't even usually play, because the season right now is Pioneer.
Absolutely.
But I qualified in Standard.
Finton qualified in Modern.
So like we did everything but play the format that's actually in the season.
Which is good, because I know Finton's getting really excited with some new deck tech, and he can get himself in it.
And we should probably talk about this, because what is this pile?
This is insane. I love this pile. So first off, any of those that might be recognizing this and you're like, Dak Faden did a video on this 2 months ago. You're right. Dak Faden did do a video on this 2 months ago, and he inspires people. So thank you, Dak Faden 07. I really do appreciate you inspiring us. This is not a stock list from Dak Faden 07. This is something that I got to give a lot of credit to Finton, because he's the one who's been playtesting. He's been one been checking, but I also have to give a lot of credit to the Humbros and the people that we work with, because he has been open to saying, hey, can you give me some advice on what I should cut? Can you give me some advice on what we should tweak for this? Yeah. Or what should my sideboard be?
So like I already noticed changes from what he played in the team event with y'all on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because originally I think he was only on 1 lightning bolt, and he was playing 2 breakouts and 2 the one that makes the mana.
We tried out that Burning Tree Emissary. Yeah.
Burning Tree Emissary.
But honestly, guys, like it just didn't seem to work. It was either you had Burning Tree, and then maybe breakout, and then you had this explosive turn. Or it was just a terrible top deck. It just did nothing.
It was just not good. And I think we mentioned cutting the 2 emissaries for like an extra bolt and maybe an extra Nakado, because he might have been on 2.
I think he was actually off all Nakados for this.
There were no Nakados before.
Yeah, because we had to cut both the Burning Tree Emissaries.
You cut both the emissaries, and what else?
I think 2 of the breakouts to help him get the...
So he was on 4 breakouts is what it was. Yeah. So it was 4 breakouts and 2 emissaries. So we cut 4 cards for an extra lightning bolt, 3 Nakados.
Yep.
Okay.
Added those 4 cards back into the build. Originally, we started off with just a stock list from Dak Faden 07. And we tried it out. And I mean, it was great. It was consistent, but I don't feel like the breakout really made that powerful enough. And there were too many times we were leaning too heavy on getting Burning Tree, like I said, Burning Tree Emissary and a Burning Tree Emissary and this huge wide board state. And now the Fury's gone. That actually is a competitive brew, but it's just not it's not enough. And in today's brew, when you're playing against Titan, did you play any Titan players? You were Modern yesterday, weren't you?
I faced 1 Titan yesterday and 3 Yawgmoths.
Yeah.
And there was another. No, that was it. No, there was one more.
Yeah.
3 Yogs, Titan. I can't remember. I did a lot of losing yesterday. I was like 1-4, and then I played a RCQ and got knocked out the first round. So I was like 1-5 on the day yesterday.
Oh, and then what was it, 4 or 5-0, and then draw?
I went 4-0 in this event, and then double drew into the top eight. It was 6 rounds, so it was a clean cut.
I can't wait, honestly. I'm going to put this thing in the chat for those guys that are looking at home to want to see what this stock list might look like. You guys could take a look at what we've done. I think he expertly piloted this. He had some great matches. Finton went day 1, 3-1 in the team practice event we had. We missed out on that bye by 1 win. But we were absolutely on fire on day 1. Day 2, round 5 was the killer round for Humbro. Every single one of our teams fell.
We all lost in round 5 and we all dropped.
They all just dropped. Played the side events. I went and played some limited stuff. That's really my shtick. That's where a lot of my prowess comes in. Is really I'm the team rep for limited series stuff, and that's a lot of where my skill comes in. I enjoy making new decks. I enjoy talking about this stuff, which is why I was really excited that Finton wanted to join us with saying, "Hey, I'm looking to play Zoo," and I said, "Listen, if you're gonna play Zoo, you're playing this Scampy version right here." With these wild, these Gaius Mites and the Mitolaras. Yeah. These cards are insane.
Yeah, pumping. 1 mana, pump it for 5, hit him for 6, and then you sack it and deal another 6.
You get 2 of those. You can hit him for 11, sack it, and do 20.
Yeah, if you have 2, 22
damage, right there.
It's a lot. And he was telling me today that like he would play a scamp on 1, and everybody thought that he signed up for the wrong RCQ.
Yeah, dude, I never got to coach him because his games are so fast.
He'd go like Shockland with a stomping ground into a scamp, and they're like, "Are you playing Pioneer?"
I remember sitting down the standard seat too. They're like, "What is this happening to me? Why is this happening?" It was so good. I was the furthest away from him because you guys got to send out. The Pioneer was in the middle. I'm in the standard seat, and here's over here where you can't even see my hand. Is over where Finton's sitting, and this guy's like, "What does that card do?" And they pick it up and they look at this thing and they're like, "What?" And I just start laughing, and my opponent's like, "What's wrong?" And it's like, "No, I'm sorry. Let's get back to our match." And he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm just hearing his opponent's like, "Did I just lose on turn 2?"
So was the scamp in the deck fading list at all or no?
No.
So that was
no. I'm sorry. Yes, it was. Sorry. For you guys at home, yes, it was. Yes. So his was 4 Burning Tree Emissary, 4 Breakout. None of these Nicodals. Heavy up on the scamp. He did like the scamp. I don't think he talked to me bad about it. And I can't remember. I don't think there was any bolts either. So it was really just a stock list of his general idea.
I like this more because like when you don't have the breakout emissary, like if you just go emissary into like nothing, it's obviously not good. Or like, and you're running a bunch of pump spells and like burn spells and stuff, and a lot of times you're not even using the mana efficiently with the Burning Tree Emissary to get enough pressure in. Yeah. So I like having the Nicodals and Brawlers to like just play the regular Zoo game when you're not doing your combo scamp thing.
Yeah. I mean, it also has the great combo of put these 8 cards, Sign of Draco and Leyline of Guild Pack.
Just throw those in every modern deck.
Yeah, just throw it in a deck and then you got yourself a deck. You can build around it. There's guys doing control builds with this. There's guys doing all kinds of craziness. So this is the state of Modern. If you're not doing Tron, if you're not doing the Amulet Titan, or you're doing Yawgmoth, you're pretty much on some random Zoo deck that's just...
Yeah, I mean, you just throw those 8 cards in. Well, really, it's 12, because most of the time there's bindings in there as well.
Absolutely. And we had the bindings on the side.
Yeah,
it was
one
of the
which
cuts.
Is surprising to me.
Yeah, honestly, the interaction wasn't that necessary in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, you just killed them on 2.
Yeah.
So, like, you probably don't need it. And there's probably certain matchups where you do need it. So
absolutely.
You bring them in.
Well, as soon as they recognize the threat, that's the deal. So you go in game 1, and I'm sure like
you kill them with the scamp, and then game 2, you sideboard all the scamps out.
You can, absolutely.
That's what I did today. Everybody was reading Invasion of Amonkhet, and they're asking all these questions after post board while we're sideboarding, and they're like, "Is that thing like still blue when it does it?" And so like they're obviously like trying to bring in like
Anti-Blue
Lithimantic Barrage or something.
Yes.
And I was like, "No, it turns black." And while they're asking those questions, I'm grabbing the 4 invasions out of my deck to side them out.
That's such a shame, because those are one of the things. Like, I'll wait till we get to the deck list to talk about this. Because like when you asked me last night to put this stuff together, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Someone has already broken the card that I've tried for 6.5 months to break."
The funny thing is, the card is literally in that deck to try to beat Domain.
Mm-hmm.
I faced 0 domain today. I faced 3 mono reds in a Slogurk deck.
Oh God, the mono red. I know why it was good against mono red. All right, so before we go on, I want to put up a nice little screenshot for our boy Finton here. He definitely deserves the notoriety here. Get you guys a
Top
view.
8 photo.
Here's Finton here in the pink, representing
this one
them.
off though.
Huh?
Chop this guy off.
Oh, that's a shame. I actually remember playing this guy during the series. I played both these
That's
guys.
who
in the
Finton
series.
drew with in the final round.
Yeah.
Or one of the final rounds, like when he double drew in.
I remember playing so many of these guys during the SCG.
Yeah, the guy in the middle plays a lot of Amulet.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good at the deck.
Oh, great to see all these team representatives
And I
and these guys.
faced the one right beside Finton to the left.
Yeah.
In the team event, the last round we played, and he kicked my butt on Yawgmoth.
Oh, dude. Just so you guys know, we're terrible at names. We're sorry. There's 1,000 people in the community. If you're going to call us out, call us out. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean,
I never
can't
board
remember
out scamps.
anyone's
Usually between Atado and Ragavan and Breakout. All right. So basically, Finton's saying he never
Ragavan's bad in a lot of matchups nowadays.
It's so bad. I do like though that it puts a red marker on here and it allows them to remove remove this. And the benefit of removing the scamp is it has a death trigger.
Oh, yeah.
So even if they kill it, it's still going to get something in.
Yeah.
And if they go for it, you can actually, and Finton did this a couple times. Told me
where they would try to kill it and he would pump it in response.
Yeah.
And
So
get a bunch of damage.
when it died, it just killed. Did the damage
Which is
you
better
wanted to.
than using your pump spell before damage and then removing it.
Right. Yeah, you got to bait your opponents on this one.
Yep.
But yeah, here's our boy Finton. What? My man.
Today. Proud of you.
Seriously. Kudos to you, man. You did a fantastic job. We're so proud of you.
His first regional championship he's ever played in, and it's a hometown one where we don't have to fly to Dallas. It's right in DC. We can just drive.
Oh, really? So Finton's here says it got paired against 4 of the 7 of the top 8ers. So yeah,
nice. I only got paired against 2, and I drew with both. So I didn't get to play against any of them.
And this is a true championship story here, because I know like you're talking about yours, and we'll get into your climb. But here's Finton, who's been trying out this deck, and like in a kind of a demoralizing losing 5th round. It's not the worst, obviously.
Well,
go 0-3.
I was talking to Finton, and we both went 1-4 for our records in the team event.
Yeah,
and then we came in today, and we both won.
Yeah,
or not won, but like
you got your invite. But you win. Like, Finton went 5-0, you went 4-0, right?
Yeah.
Like your rounds back to back. Win.
Which is like really cool because like we got our butts kicked yesterday, and we come in today and we're coming home with an invite. And
we're missing a simple thing. I'm really sorry. I didn't know Finton got first place in the top 8.
First seed.
So that 5-0, well done. I didn't actually hear that. I know that we've been going back and forth, been hearing the accolades, been out in the Discord chat and been talking you guys up. But yeah, first place with this deck. So what I was trying to say is like you can have those bad moments. You can be like, this deck is terrible. It did not perform for me well. And it's the matchups, guys. It's what round you're going into. Yeah. It's the matchups of luck. He had turn 2 kills when a guy went turn 2 kiting on the play. Like, what do you do? Like, you're just loose to that.
Yeah, and those things happen in Modern. Amulet is a dumb deck, and it will kill you out of nowhere. And it's way too consistent.
Absolutely.
They've gotten so many pieces, and it's somehow stayed around for like 10 years.
No extra prizes?
You got $100.
You got $100. You got yourself an invite? That's
nothing to play a regional championship for a chance to be on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, right? That I would be ecstatic right now. You did absolutely wonderful, and you represent this deck. You didn't give up on it, and you showed people this is a good deck. It's worth playing.
And I love playing decks like this because, like, when you play a deck like this at an event, you have, like, all these people around you.
Yes.
And they're like, what is this guy playing?
What is he doing? Yeah.
And, like, you play decks like this, and nobody knows what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the good part about it. Because, like, you go into these events, and they see Zoo.
Yeah.
They're facing Zoo. But then you come out and pump your thing for 5, and they're dead.
They're dead, yeah. They're like, oh, God,
know
turn 2 signs coming. Oh, no, turn 2.
And that's exactly what my deck did today as well.
Yeah.
Because I was just playing.
Do you want to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll into it. Not to overgloss it, though, seriously. Finton, great job.
Great job.
Now we're going to go into our other champion of the day.
So
on Esper Midrange.
Yeah, we played the team event yesterday. Got my butt kicked. And was feeling very down. And I was like, man, I've done nothing but lose this weekend. And as I'm like about to leave the SCG con last night, we went out for dinner and I'm like scrolling through Twitter and I see a post by like Patrick Wu, which is like a player that I like follow and look at a lot. He plays a lot of control decks that I like to play usually. Mm-hmm. And he came up with like the blue white Lotus Field control in Pioneer. Mm-hmm. And that was his thing. But I saw that he posted this list that his friend was playing in the Canadian Regional Championship that took place this weekend. Mm-hmm. And they were the only undefeated player on day one. And they went 8-0. And
do we know if he won it?
He did not win. He finished fourth at 10-2-1.
Okay.
Made top 8, but lost in the quarterfinals to Esper Midrange with Rafines, which is a bad matchup.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they have wedding announcements and virtual loyalties, which is like the most important cards in the mirror match.
Absolutely.
And your Invasion of Amonkhet, it's not really milling into anything relevant.
Absolutely.
Like, except for maybe an Aquazotz if you hit that.
Oh, but, yeah, absolutely.
Essentially, this deck list is built to beat Domain, which is not a good matchup for traditional Esper midrange.
Okay.
Because they just go over the top of you, and
it's got some aggro stuff in here I really like.
Once they hit an Atraxa down or an Archangel, Archangel's the big deal because they have 4 Cavern Souls in their deck, and you can't counter the Archangel. So like pre-board, you're screwed. Post-board, you usually bring in 3 Tishana's Tiebinders in the traditional Esper midrange lists, but this list is actually running 3 Tidebinders main, and then you have 4 Invasion of Amonkhet's and 2 Virtue Persistence. But other than that,
you got some life gain from the Virtues, right? You got some life gain from Alcazotz, which is usually just at 1. Most people really just play 1 copy. That is and Endemic has got lifelink as well.
Well, that's for the aggro matchups. Exactly. But I'm talking like Domain. That stuff doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm talking about. You're diversifying this deck to get against multiple things.
Well, that's the thing. It's a mid-range deck. You're still going to be good against like pretty much everything in the format. Domain was a bad matchup for you, so you have the Amonkhet's and the 3 Tidebinders main deck so that you can beat Domain, because you mill an Atraxa with this and you just flip this thing and you have your own Atraxa.
Absolutely.
And then they play their Atraxa and you Shoshana's Tiebinder the trigger, and then you hit it with the go for the throw, and then you swing in for lethal. Like that's that is what this list was designed to be.
Yeah,
because Domain, like for a while, everybody thought the deck just didn't exist anymore. Everybody forgot, like they knew it was there, but it wasn't putting up the big numbers anymore.
Yep.
And then the Pro Tour happened, and they showed like, hey, if you're gonna play 30% of Esper midrange, we're gonna come in here with Domain and just stomp all over you and walk home with the trophy.
Absolutely.
Like it's an easy matchup.
Absolutely.
So this was built to beat that.
Did you see a lot?
You're still good against aggro and everything. I went into the tournament.
Did you see a lot of Domain when you were watching the matches?
I saw 1 Domain.
So that wasn't the
like entire 61 player.
Okay.
Like, I like walked around a little bit and there was like no Domain.
Okay.
Which is funny because I'm playing the deck to beat Domain and I don't see any Domain.
So what was the motivation to go to this deck? If you didn't see it?
Well, I mean, I just figured I was going to see it because like everybody watches the Pro Tour. Oh my gosh, Domain won. I'm going to go build this deck. Like it won the Pro Tour. It must be the best deck in the format.
There's got to be something that came to your mind last night when you're at home. You're sitting here licking your wounds, if you will. Not sure.
It's a deck that nobody knows about. Like I know that I was going to play this deck. I was going to go into the tournament. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to play my Esper cards. They're going to think I'm playing Esper.
Yep. Esper,
and then I'm going to go turn 3 Invasion of Amonkhet, and they're going to pick it up and say, what does this card do?
Right.
And then I'm going to flip it into like a Deep Cavern Bat in the mono red matchup, take a card from their hand, and then have a 4/4 flying lifelinker.
Or even get your Alcazotz if for some reason it's not.
Yeah, like you can flip, like those are the best things to flip into, like the Bat and the Aquazotz or whatever from your deck. But obviously you can hit big things out of their deck. But mono red, like this card was pretty bad.
Okay,
actually,
that makes sense.
Like it won me a game 1 because I flipped into a Bat and took his removal spell out of his hand with the Bat, and then I was able to gain enough life with the 4/4 lifelinker because it was a Bat. But
is there any little token
I sideboarded
tricks?
This card out in literally every matchup.
Is there any little token tricks that we're missing that like you had to attack this battle, right, to flip it over?
Oh, I just had 2 Tiebinders out already, and I swung it for 6 at it.
Sure. I'm just curious if there's any other.
But like the easiest way to flip it is you have 3 Fairy Masterminds and 4 Bats. So like you have flyers on turn 2, and then you go turn 3 into this, and you have pressure on it already.
Absolutely. And you don't mind about losing that 4 life? Like that's the biggest.
No.
Everyone talks about these evasions.
It's gonna be a long game usually when I'm playing Esper. Like I have the tools to go long, so like I don't care.
Absolutely.
Usually this like I'd rather attack this and have more pressure on them than like saving them 6 life or whatever I did that turn.
Absolutely.
But, so I faced mono red 3 rounds and like I thought it was gonna be terrible.
Throats are great
because I'm like, man, I don't have a ton of pressure now without Rafines. Like you can't kill them super fast. You can't put counters on your bats and your Denics to gain more life than what they usually do.
This really plays to your playstyle, though.
I mean, you have 4 cut downs and 4 go for the throat, so you're usually good in those matchups as long as they don't have like protection spells. And I only faced one that actually had like green in the deck, they had some protection spells, and I would just main phase my things and kill it while they were tapped out or whatever. Yeah,
thanks for bringing that up because those that watch those other videos where I was telling you guys go green with this slick shot shoot deck.
Yeah, if you're not playing green with it, it's. I mean, you get to play Quest and Druid as well, and that card's just insane.
Oh, insane.
But most of the like against the 3 mono red players, I sideboarded out 4 invasions and 3 fairy masterminds, and I was bringing in 3 pest controls and 4 Kutzel's flankers. This card was MVP.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thing was insane. Like it would just be a 3 mana flash, gain 2 life, scry 2, set my next 2 draws up, and then just block something that they attacked with. Like against one of my mono red players, he taps out and plays Godric. And it didn't have celebration, so it's just a 3/3. He swings in, I flash that thing in, gain 2 life, set up my next 2 draws, and then just block his Godric. And it's like this was like a removal spell that gained me 2 life and set my next 2 draws up.
Exactly.
It was so good.
Genius. Let's talk about this hostile investigator. I'm sure a lot of people don't even know what that is. Just came out.
Yeah. I sideboarded that in 1 game, and it was against the Slogurk deck. I don't know if that's even right, but like they discard a bunch of cards with their lands. So like this, whenever they do that, I get a clue. Like I don't know if it's really for that, but that's where I brought it in.
Okay.
I never sideboarded in any of these. I didn't sideboard in Elish Norn at all. I never sideboarded in.
Let's talk about why you have them in there, because the Elish Norns are in there clearly for
domain. Yeah,
and
then that's there for the Esper midrange matchup.
Absolutely. Pest controls in there for
this is there for aggro, but it's also good against the Teamer Analyst deck because it can exile the graveyard. So like it's good against Analyst, and I think it's pretty decent against Slogurk.
Absolutely,
because like you can hit their graveyard, take all their lands out, so their Slogurk's not getting stuff back. And then I've got 4 negates. That's also for the Analyst and the
control matchups.
Control, and like it's not bad against domain. You can hit the ramp spells. I guess it depends which domain they're on, because like it hits the herd migration is a big thing, but like some of the domains are going to the new Cornucopia card instead of the Topiary Stompers, so like you can counter those with it as well if you wanted to, but it's really there for the Teamer Analyst matchup, I believe. And then Pest Control is just for Convoke and like the mono red decks where they're playing a bunch of 1-drops.
Convoke's just a huge issue. I think yesterday I played 3 of them, or 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. Convoke's really good. I think like 3 of the top 8 players that were in the top 8 here were on Convoke.
Yeah, I luckily was able to take those down. Those are usually a 50-50, which was really surprising to me. And it's like, when we talk about like the luck of way that things go, I went like 3-2, took down 3 of those Convoke decks, and then the day prior, I think I took down 2 of those Convoke decks for a 3-1. And it just, I'm surprised that I'm actually able to do so well. You guys saw my practice videos and knew I was playtesting against it, and I know it's not a great matchup for me. It's who wins and gets underneath it.
Yeah, it's a fast deck, but it can have some stinky draws.
Oh yeah,
where they're just like, this is the worst deck you've ever seen.
I think it mulligans well, and I think like
you
our
can mulligan to like 5 or 4 and still win games. I think Zach's won a game on a mulligan to 3 with.
Oh yeah, it's insanely good and consistent, but at the same time, it's like it can wander, and a pest control could just end the day. Yeah. So I'm really surprised that and maybe just because it's a really easy deck that a lot of people like to put together. I'm not shooting the deck. I'm just saying it's a very easy pilotable deck where some of the convoluted combos that I went up against what is it that Chris Calhoun plays all the time?
The
Slogurk deck. Oh my gosh.
Legends or whatever.
That thing is it's such an angle shooter type of deck.
Facing that deck.
It's all over the place. It's a brilliant design, and I love what Chris has done with the deck, and I love where it's evolved. I mean,
the Honest Rutsteins really set that deck up
really high up.
They made it a lot better, actually.
Yeah. Like a lot of these new cards and legendaries that came out just from these new sets have made that thing such an impressive deck. Where it's like I need to go underneath it.
When you start channeling those lands like the Odawaras and the Takanumans that are usually 4 mana for 1 mana, it's really dumb.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, those are the decks that I usually have a decent matchup against because I usually have a really fast. I was on the Girl Scales guys. I did you guys a video on that earlier, and it gets underneath it real quick. There's a lot of great draws that there's just nothing they can do about it.
Yeah,
and it really destroys Domain because Domain can't deal with the lands and whatnot.
You need to give us some new cards for that deck so I can play that again.
Yeah, right.
Like Snakeskin Veil is very good in it, obviously,
so good.
But
yeah,
like other than that, we haven't gotten anything for
not really support.
3 sets.
No.
It's been a while.
Maybe we'll get something from the new Burnwell, the new one.
Bloomburrow.
Yeah,
I hope so because that deck was a blast to play.
Oh, dude, I still think it's still good. My numbers talk for themselves, but I will be playing it actually in the store championship this weekend. So if you guys are,
I'm going to be playing
in town. All right, let's bring it on. I can't wait.
Everybody brings Domain, and if they don't, I can still win.
Yes, please, everyone bring Domain to the store championship.
But I was gonna say, round 2. I am playing this random RCQ. Like it's like 61 people. Yeah. And then I get my round 2 pairings though, and I see the name, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm facing Nathan Stoyer.
Oh, that's right, the world champion. Those guys don't know. Nathan Stewart is the Pro
World
Tour
champion,
world champion like last year.
He won a Pro Tour last year and then a World Championship like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Duelist of the Mind.
Yes.
That's his card.
Absolutely.
That is him on the card.
So those are those that don't know who we're talking about.
Pull Duelist of the Mind up. Yeah, no, that's not it.
Oh, Duelist
of the Mind. That's Fairy Mastermind. That's Takahashi. He got second place in this Pro Tour.
Sorry.
So this is Nathan Stoyer.
See if we can make this.
Literally has his own card.
Right here. So you played a Magic the Gathering card. That's interesting. How does it work to play against a Magic the Gathering card?
World champion.
Nathan Stewart, world champion, 28. Nice.
Yeah, so I got paired in round 2, and I was like terrified. I was like, oh, I'm about to get stomped. Like, I'm done. I'm going to get knocked out of this tournament. And then I go into the game, and he's on Slogurk. And game 1's going pretty good, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm keeping up. Like, I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
And then he has a Slogurk out, and he my end step. He's like, I'm gonna channel this Otawara, and he goes to grab a counter to put on the Slogurk. Yeah. I was like, no. And I splash in a Tashana's Tidebinder, and the look on this guy's face was just like.
In the main?
Yeah.
In the main?
Well, he did not, nobody expects it in the main deck. Yeah. It's always in the sideboard of the Esper decks. And like I said, you play this deck and they think you're on traditional Esper. And
absolutely.
And then you flash out a Tidebinder in game 1 and they're like, what? And so that won the game for me because the Slogurk was going to get out of control. And I hit the first counter and now it's just a 3-3. Yeah. It doesn't do anything unless you can get rid of the Tidebinder. And then you can start getting your counters back and your engines back online.
Absolutely.
But I thought that was the funniest part of the whole tournament, though, was me getting paired into him in round 2, and I'm just terrified. And then somehow beat him in game 1, and then I'm like, okay. Then I sideboarded, and game 2's going pretty good. He slams an Akhlazotz down, and I'm like, I don't have an answer for that. I'm holding up 2 mana while he casts it, and he's waiting there for a while. Does he have a No More Lies? Does he have it?
Yeah.
And he just went for it, didn't have it.
God.
What do I top deck for turn? The No More Lies. Nice. I'm like, are you serious? But then I was like, I have my own Akhlazotz in my hand. I'll just tap out and play my own.
Yeah.
I play it. I go to his turn. He doesn't swing with his Akhlazotz. I guess he didn't want to trade.
Okay.
And
they both go to your land zone too, right? Okay.
Yeah, they would have traded. To be fair, though, trading's probably not great when I have Tidebinder in my deck because if he goes to activate that and I just Tidebinder, it's
it's just done. Yeah.
But
you get yours, but he doesn't get his.
So then the next turn, I decided I'm not going to swing either. I am holding a Tidebinder in hand. So what happens is I pass back, and then he swings on the following turn, and I had the Tidebinder to counter the trigger that would have maybe discarded a card, which then makes his Akhlazotz lose lifelink and flying. And it doesn't do the whole discard thing or come back if it dies.
Yeah.
So now I'm at an advantage of I have an Akhlazotz that's online, his is offline, not gaining him any life.
Oh, good grief.
So basically what happened in that game was the Akhlazotz of his got shut off and mine was able to take over the game with just gaining the life and smacking him. And his doesn't have flying and he's not gaining any life while I'm still hitting him for 4 every turn.
Absolutely.
And then there was a turn late in the game where he had a Slogurk down. That was untapped, and then a Akhlazotz that was tapped, and I had 12 power on board, and he was at 14. And like he was holding up a Plaza of Heroes to protect his Slugger, but it was still turned off by a previous Tidebinder, so like it didn't really matter. But he kind of had to keep his creatures around if he wanted to try to claw back.
Got to keep the board state.
But what happened was I went for a go for the throat, even though I knew he had the land up that would protect it, the Plaza of Heroes. But the thing is, he didn't have 3 mana to tap to use the ability.
Sure.
But he did through a Relic of Legends, but he would have to tap his Slogurt to activate to make the mana and then sack. So basically what happened is I go for the throat. He instantly like protects it, but he has to tap his creature, and now I have 12 coming out. And he's at, well, it wasn't lethal. It was going to put him to 2.
Okay.
And then I had a Restless Anchorage back. So like even if he like dealt with everything on board, like I have this Restless Anchorage that's going to kill him, and he has 1 card in hand. So like it was a very good game, and he was a great person and
good grind to
fantastic like opponent to play against. And it was an awesome game. I had a good time.
Yeah, hearts out to you. I love that we get these opportunities where we can play these professionals out there, and I love that it gives you an opportunity to show that you can be in that position yourself, just so long as
you can win any game of Magic.
Yeah,
like you can win a game against anybody in the world. It's
absolutely,
there is randomness to this. Like it's not all skill.
Yeah.
Like, there is variance, so like you can beat anybody on any given day, even if they're the best player in the world.
Yeah, and that's it. Just makes them more pride, and it makes more a benefit for everybody else to play. It'd be boring if the same guy won every single time.
Yeah,
not to mention it doesn't mean anything.
It never really happens.
Yeah,
like you don't see that.
Never, and that's what we love about the game. It's like you're gonna have your day. Finton had his day. Take it with him, grind it out, keep trying to get those wins, can't capitalize on it. But Finton's lost a lot to get to here. You've lost a lot. I've lost a lot. We've lost more than we've ever won, guys.
For sure.
You have to get to the grind. You have to wait for that moment, your day, that good pairing, that good matchup. And it feels so good to be rewarded after those long months and years. And Finton's been at it for 2+ years at this point. And,
well,
you've been
been playing longer than that. I know that. I've seen him way back when I used to play like 5 years ago before I got back in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So like he's been putting the work in, and he's gotten there.
You started when you were a kid, you and Casey just playing together, just in your mom's basement, making sure you get it together. I've been playing since the game's inception, so I kind of just dated myself there. Sorry, guys. I'm an old fogey.
I think that was 30 years ago.
Yeah. 30-year Magic? Yeah, that makes me 31. I played when I was 1 year old.
I've been playing since I was 15. 24 now, so.
There's absolutely nothing been greater to me than a game that I can invest in and keep. And I push this every single time I tell you guys, like, go paper. There was claims that they wanted more paper after the Pro Tour. We need more paper coverage. We need more, and that's what we're here to bring you. So I'm really excited to show you this to you. We've gotten permission to show this to you. All the locals out here, if you haven't known about this, we're bringing Dual Commander Series to Charlottesville. This is going to be a new series hosted by LifeLink, who is going to be creating a new format for everyone. We're thinking about top 8, top 16 based on participation. What we're doing is we're doing some events on Friday, weekly events, where you come out to play the Dual Commander Series. Every single win
at first place, F&M, but you get points for winning your F&M.
And you know the best part about it?
You get to play in an invitational little points bracket. Where is it going to be top 16 or top 8?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the best part.
What's the best part?
We gotta show them.
Okay, well, not that part. The proxies. We know that Dual Commander is a format that most people can't seem to get into because it's the price. Yeah, reserve list and the price cards.
Dual lands. You've got a couple of reserve list cards that see fringe play in the format, but mainly the dual lands is what holds a lot of people out from building like more than one color deck.
Absolutely. And
they're not required, but they do make games a lot easier to win if you don't have to shock against an aggro deck.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's been a limiter for some of the people in the area, and I get it. I wish that they would reprint some of these cards, but we have to deal with it. The reserve list is the reserve list. Respect the community. We want to respect the community by also allowing people with 5 proxies.
Yep.
We don't want to overdo it because it's still important that you get into the game, get these cards. Make sure that you're in the competition, but allowing you 5 proxies, allowing you to hit those key $600-$700 cards that might be gatekeeping you from having the optimal combo deck. This is it, guys. This is where it's at. It's simple entry for you guys to get in here. Point system works. First place gets 3 points. Second place gets 2 points. Third and fourth get 1 point. You don't make it 1 week, doesn't matter. The points aren't going to be that much stacked against you, so you can't get in there. Well, a couple of wins in the 8-week series, and you're pretty much going to be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the last 4 or 5 weeks we haven't seen the same person win each week. It's been different, like
every single week. Yeah,
like so, like even if you miss, you're still going to have points from the last time you won or the last time you got first, second, third. What are we doing the points to? Third or
we're all the way to fourth place.
All the way to fourth. So it's going to be what for
third place? 3 points for first place.
Yeah,
2 points for second place. 2 and 2, and third and fourth get 1 point.
Okay, so. And then are we holding it for like a month and then doing the top
8 weeks?
8 weeks. So 2 months, and then the third month there's going to be the top 8 or top 16, however many people we have attending.
Yep.
And they'll get to play a single elimination bracket where you lose, you get knocked out. But if you win the whole thing, what do you get?
I'm so glad you asked. Not sponsored, but something that we'll be working with LifeLink Games. This man called Matt's Magic Proxies. If you're not following this man, please follow this man. We're going to play up a couple of clips of him. Want to show you he does have his own Etsy shop as well. Look at this art. This art is absolutely incredible. But for those that don't know, most of the top players, as we just talked about with the card from Nathan Stewart, got himself a Magic the Gathering card. What if you wanted your face superimposed on some amazing artwork and a token to be remembered by for winning the Dual Commander series? Going down with not just a trophy. We're going to get you as a trophy. It's always good to give out the trophies to those achievements. But the top winner of the Dual Commander series at the end of those 8 weeks, and then, of course, a championship game that's going to be held on a Saturday, following that probably 1 or 2 weeks from the end of the 8 weeks, will get their likeness put on top of a token of their choice. They get to choose what kind of token they want. So if you're a cat person, you get a cat. Man. We won't get into the furry thing, but you want that? We're not going to shave you. Trust me, it's all you. Whatever kind of token you want. This man does amazing artwork, and he's willing to work with us. Obviously, we're going to have to finance this guy because it's worth it. This man is.
No, that's really cool.
This puts out some great work. I want to do some of these. This is from that new show. Alistair from the. It's a YouTube channel. Love this. Love this series. Absolutely wonderful artwork from this guy and the way that he does these things. Now, mind you, we're going to be doing tokens for you.
Not like the cards like these,
Has Been Hotel. Gosh, it took me too long. If you guys haven't seen it, there's no people with like epilepsy out here. But he does a lot for that. That was the work from Has Been Hotel. Great YouTube series. It's adult content oriented, so don't let your kids watch it, guys. It's not appropriate. But he does some wonderful foiling, wonderful artwork right over top of some of the absolute commander staples out here. Thanos. You might even be able to get him to proxy up some of those 5 proxies we just told you about.
Oh wow!
For a decent price.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. We're gonna put.
Wait. I've seen this one.
I've seen this one. Interesting. Fing Fang Foon, huh? Yeah, I've seen this. Maybe we've gotten some of his artwork before.
I think I have a sticker of that.
Maybe. Those that have played the LifeLink games know what this is out. I want you guys to check out his TikTok. I'm going to throw out his Etsy's in the chat. I really want you guys to see this. This is what we're doing to give back to the community. He's made those proxies for Drew here. Absolutely.
I've seen that one.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Yes.
No, this is going to be really cool.
It's so exciting to show this to you guys.
These,
we'll be giving these things out to the winner, of course. We'll give him a nice little fast stack that he can sign and hand out to people. And we'll be making it available to those attendees at LifeLink Games. Getting a good amount of fast stacks that we can, within reason, of course. But we do want to give back to the community. We're always about the community. And I know that a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to play the Star City series back in the day when they used to do this. And they're not going to be able to make the Pro Tour, which is fine. Maybe they will on the grind.
The rule shark. There's Tony's token.
There's Tony's token right here. I need to order some of these myself. He's got them in foil, too. All right, so before my wallet gets empty here, we're going to take just 5 minutes, guys. Just bear with us. We do have an amazing, and we're going to start off with the 2-time champ.
The Dual Commander match versus Tony
top 16,
and Zach, right?
Tony and Zach.
Okay.
We're going to put it out there for you guys. I can't wait to see how this goes.
It's Atraxa versus Finton.
So. Yeah, Finton. And, he took down 3 Fintons in the top 16
Dual Commander Cup in Chicago,
Yeah.
So He feels confident.
Extremely confident.
The thing is, like, he knew that Zach was playing Felton going into it.
Oh,
so
absolutely. Well,
he could have changed his deck if he wanted, but he felt confident about the matchup.
Absolutely.
So he went into it with
he's had so many wins and victories behind it. So,
So, I mean,
we'll see how this matchup goes. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. This is going to be the top 16, and this is a league thing that another organization's put on, not related to the series that we'll be hosting ourselves, but it does have its own little trophies and own little benefits to it that they can get into. Those that attend around the Charlottesville area will know about it. Get into our Discord stuff. Let us know. We've got context for it. This series, yes.
FDS on it, I don't even know.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes.
What?
In 2 weeks. For all those players out there, not this Friday coming right before, but the Friday right before the next RCQ in this area.
I got to know the date, because I swear if it is when I'm in Dallas, I'm going to be upset.
24th?
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
It's the weekend before.
Okay. Like I said,
if it was this weekend, I would not be there. I have to be there for the first week.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make it.
Okay.
So, it's on the 24th, huh?
Yes. I did say 2 weeks on that. My math is a little bit wrong here, guys.
The 17th?
No, we have to go to the 24th because that's the end of the top 8 series. We don't want to overlay with the other.
Okay, so the 24th.
24th.
The 24th.
I do apologize. My math is
3
terrible.
weeks.
Thanks for the saving there, FDS. I really appreciate it. The 24th of this month, we will be starting the Friday Dual Commander series. And you'll be getting updates from us as long as you dial in here. We'll be updating the leaderboard every single time that we got an update, presenting you guys with who the winners are. And not only that, I almost forgot. We're doing profiles.
Oh, so we're going to have bios and stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have bios for the top players.
Like their accomplishments.
Absolutely. And what they like, what they do. All going to be hosted by LifeLink Games on their website.
That's really cool.
Yeah, this is something Chris has stepped out on.
I mean, that gives you, you can look into a profile before you play your match and see what kind of things they like and learn more about them. Yeah. I like that.
So those that haven't visited here, we're also going to give a huge shout out to the guys that's been hosting us and helping us get and grow this channel and helping you guys get to it. Go to LifeLink Games. From here, you'll be able to soon have a profile page of all of our champions. The leaderboard update will be posted here. All that information we posted with all the added information and advertised out. Yeah, 24th May.
Yeah, and you have no reason not to come out. You can proxy your dual lands.
Yes, that's 5 whole proxies, guys. We will be vetting it. Let us know before the competition starts what those 5 are, just to verify. We don't want to get out of control.
Yeah.
But we do want to bring it open to you guys to allow other players to get involved with this format. It is an open format. The games change. I love the games. This is why we do coverage.
They're always different.
Always different.
99 cards, singleton. There's no
you won't even find someone in the same deck half the time, unless they just
there are cards in my deck that I've been playing for 3 months that I have yet to play.
Tiny Bones is mine. I haven't seen that since I put it in the deck. Come on, Tiny Bones. Show me up. All right, like I said.
It's always different. It's a blast to play. Please get into it.
Please. So excited to announce that to you guys. We'll be putting out some more stuff on the social media sites. Look to us on the, you can follow us in the Discords. LifeLink has their Discord. Get out there if you need some more information. Always hit us up if you want to or have any questions about what we're talking about. But stay with us because we've got that top 16 matchup.
Yep, leading into the top 8, single elimination.